Welcome back to Braintree Today. I'm Martha Konstandinidis and you're watching BCAM TV. Now we'll be getting into our latest stories from the week. On Wednesday, mourners waited for hours to say goodbye to Queen Elizabeth II as her coffin began lying in the state. Senior royals including King Charles III, Prince William, and Prince Harry were involved in the procession from Buckingham Palace to Westminster. At 5 p.m. when the hall's doors opened, the queue of visitors stretched for almost 3 miles along the River Thames. The Queen's coffin will remain in the hall in the heart of the British parliamentary estate until the funeral on Monday morning. Thousands are expected to wait along the streets of the capital, with some potentially sleeping out overnight in a bid to pay their respects. You can watch Queen Elizabeth II's final journey from Westminster Abbey to Buckingham Palace on Monday, September 19th on BBC, ITV, and Sky News starting at 6:30 a.m. Early Thursday morning, unions and management reached a tentative deal averting a freight railroad strike that had threatened to cripple the U.S. supply chain and push prices higher. The deal with unions came just after 5 a.m. in a statement from the White House, which called it a, quote, important win for our economy and the American people, end quote. This concluded about 20 hours of negotiations between the union's leadership and the railroad's labor negotiators, hosted by Labor Secretary Marty Walsh. The deal needs to be ratified by union members before it can go into effect and totally end the threat of a strike. This is a win for a variety of businesses that depend on the railroad system's operations. In an announcement on Wednesday, Yvon Chouinard, the billionaire founder of Patagonia, has given his company away to help fight the climate crisis. The brand owner said in his announcement, quote, "While we're doing our best to address the environmental crisis, it's not enough. We need to find a way to put more money into fighting the crisis," end quote. Chouinard and his family transferred ownership of the company, which is worth about $3 billion. The new owners of Patagonia are an environmental nonprofit, the Hold Fast Collective, and the Patagonia Purpose Trust, which was created by Patagonia. The Patagonia Purpose Trust owns all of the voting stock, or 2% of the company. That leaves the other 98% to the Hold Fast Collective, who holds all of the non-voting stock. For those who visit their website, will now instead read, "Earth is now our only shareholder." The Baker administration announced that cities and towns in Massachusetts and a variety of food banks will receive 5 million at-home COVID-19 tests to distribute to residents this fall. About 3.5 million tests will be steered towards cities and towns, who will then be able to make the tests available to residents. Food banks will get about 1.5 million tests intended for vulnerable populations that they serve. Residents can also seek personal protective equipment such as KN95 and surgical masks from the state. Individual municipalities can request PPE and tests through September 16th, and then shipments will arrive before mid-October, according to the Baker administration. Check your town's website for information on how to get supplies. According to the latest data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, all of Massachusetts is now at low risk for COVID-19 transmission. This is a major change from just a few weeks ago, when most of eastern Massachusetts was still at medium risk for COVID transmission. Across New England, states have seen a decrease in risk level as the summer surge has continued to subside. Rhode Island is also completely in the low-risk category, while states like Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont are mostly low-risk, with a few counties in the medium-risk category. For more information or to find the county-by-county COVID-19 transmission map, you can visit cdc.gov. Thanks for watching Braintree Today. We'll be right back with more after the break.
The COVID-19 vaccine doesn't contain the virus, so you can't get COVID from the shot. You may experience things like muscle aches, fever, or tiredness, but these are most likely signs that your body is building immunity to protect against the virus. Learn more.
Welcome back. According to the U.S. Attorney Rachel Rollins, Next Step Healthcare, which operates Braintree Manor Healthcare and Plymouth Harborside Healthcare, denied admission to 548 people who indicated they were prescribed addiction-related medications while seeking admission to Next Steps programs. Those receiving treatment for a substance use disorder are generally considered disabled under the Americans with Disabilities Act. Rowland said, which prohibits private healthcare providers from discriminating on the basis of disability. Under a recently reached agreement with the U.S. Attorney's Office, Next Step must adopt a non-discrimination policy specific to those with disabilities, provide training on disability discrimination and substance use to admissions personnel, and pay a penalty upward of $92,000. If the agency complies with the terms of the agreement, the fine would be reduced to $10,000. On Wednesday, September 7th, Luis San Miguel died at the age of 97. San Miguel was stationed in Europe from October 6, 1944 to March 18, 1946, with the U.S. Army 103rd Infantry Division in France, Germany, and Italy, and fought in the Battle of the Bulge. San Miguel was also a retired banker from the Bank of Boston as an assistant vice president, who then became a familiar and popular figure to shoppers at the Stop and Shop on Grove Street. San Miguel started out as a checkout cashier at the grocery store at the age of 74 and spent 21 years there. Just 4 months ago, on May 3rd, he celebrated his 70th wedding anniversary with his wife Lucille. Saturday, his daughter Loretta Lacentra of Revere said, quote, "This amazing man is my hero and my heart is broken," end quote. BCAM TV produced a special about Luis San Miguel and his experiences during World War II. You can find it on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/bcamtv. Police responded to Braintree High School on Tuesday morning after a student brought a knife to school. Braintree Public School Superintendent Jim Lee said a student reported to administrators that another student was in possession of a knife. Police then responded while the high school utilized a brief remain-in-room order. Police searched the suspected student, who did in fact have a folding knife in their possession. Superintendent Lee said, quote, "Braintree High School will respond to this incident consistent with the school's handbook and applicable law," end quote. Mayor Kokoris is proposing a property tax exemption for Gold Star mothers and fathers. Gold Star parents are parents of a member of the U.S. Armed Forces who died in service for our nation. The town currently offers several statutory exemptions for residents relative to their real estate tax obligations. These exemptions are benefits for veterans, but the town wasn't offering exemptions for Gold Star mothers and fathers until now. The mayor's proposal for the property tax exemption for Gold Star parents is currently pending approval from the town council. The town of Braintree held its annual September 11th Remembrance Ceremony on Sunday, September 11th at the Braintree Fire Department headquarters. The Remembrance Ceremony included remarks from Parks and Rec's Assistant Director Chris Griffin, Braintree Mayor Charles Kokoris, Senators John Keenan and Walter Timilty, and other public safety personnel. Additionally, the Braintree High School Concert Choir performed, and the event concluded with a wreath laying in remembrance of those who died on 9/11. A light breakfast was also served after the ceremony. You can watch the Remembrance Ceremony on BCAM TV's government channel, Comcast Channel 8, and Verizon Channel 26, and on youtube.com/BCAMTV. The town of Braintree is launching a Hometown Heroes banner program as a living tribute to the community to honor past and present members of the armed forces. Banners will be displayed on lamp posts throughout South Braintree Square from November 1st through the 30th each year as part of the Veterans Day program. To display a Hometown Hero banner with your veteran, fill out the application with a photo and email it to vfountain@braintreema.gov. The cost of each banner is $100, and checks should be made payable to the Braintree Veterans Council. Application deadline is September 30th. Thank you for watching Braintree Today on BCAM TV. We'll be right back with more stories in the area.
Mosquitoes are out. Protect yourself from mosquito bites and the illnesses they can cause, like Triple E and West Nile virus. When outdoors, use an EPA-approved repellent and wear protective clothing. Learn more at mass.gov/mosquitoes and ticks.
Welcome back to Braintree Today. Now let's get right into more stories. On Wednesday afternoon, community members on Martha's Vineyard rushed to accommodate and treat dozens of Venezuelan and Colombian migrants with little notice. The migrants were sent by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis in protest of President Biden's border policies. Island officials were given about 20 minutes notice before the plane arrived sometime after 3 p.m. Of the 50 or so that landed on the Vineyard, only 2 spoke English. Sheriff Robert Ogden of the Dukes County Sheriff's Office said in an interview, quote, "We're talking about human lives here, and to actually put these people in harm's way, to travel all this way, to come to a place to prove that what? There's no services here, that we can't support that? It's atrocious," end quote. On Thursday, in a similar style, Texas Governor Greg Abbott sent 2 busloads of migrants to Vice President Kamala Harris's residence in protest. As we inch closer to week 4 of train service closures on the Orange Line, MBTA officials announced that repairs are now 69% complete. MBTA General Manager Steve Poftak said the agency is making progress on the project that closed 11 miles of the Orange Line from the Oak Grove station to Forest Hills. Poftak said in a statement, quote, "We are on day 21 of our 30-day surge of the Orange Line. We have less than 10 days to go. We're making good progress, and we are confident that we will be reopening on the morning of the 19th, end quote. The agency said 60 new Orange Line cars will be available to be put into service at the end of the shutdown, an increase of 30 new cars. Poftak said, quote, "The predominant numbers of types of cars on the line are going to be new Orange Line cars. This is a great upgrade for our customers," end quote. A Quincy man has been charged with 4 child rapes, including one dating back to 19 years ago. Boston police said Ivan Chung, 42, was arrested on Monday afternoon and was in court for his hearing at Boston Municipal Court on Tuesday. Chung was held on $1 million bail during his hearing. Prosecutors said 2 of the victims were 13 and 14 years old, both of which he stabbed. The warrants issued included 4 counts of aggravated rape, 4 counts of aggravated rape of a child, and 2 counts of aggravated statutory rape stemming from incidents in 2003, 2005, and 2006. State Street, the financial services company, which Chung worked for, announced they would be terminating his employment. Police said a sexual assault collection kit helped detectives identify the suspect, and there may be further charges as the investigation continues. On Air Force One on Monday, President Joe Biden showed some love to a heroic South Shore boy dealing with an issue close to the president's heart. During his visit to Boston, Biden slipped on a Mighty Quinn wristband, paying tribute to Quinn Waters, the 6-year-old from Weymouth who is battling brain cancer for the 2nd time. Representative Stephen Lynch facilitated the presidential gesture while he flew back to Washington on Air Force One after Biden gave his cancer moonshot speech earlier that day. The congressman said to NBC, quote, "He was in the middle of a story about his son. The president was about Beau Biden and how his family was affected, and it dawned on me that I had the wristband on," end quote. Tara Waters, Quinn's mother, gave the bracelet to Representative Lynch at a September 11th memorial this year, saying to him, quote, "Well, if you talk to the president, can you give him this and tell him that one mom is super grateful for his support of that initiative," end quote. Thanks for watching Braintree Today. We'll be right back with more in entertainment.
Protect yourself from mosquito and tick bites. Use an EPA-approved repellent anytime you're outdoors. Spray it on your hands first, then spread it on your face, neck, arms, and legs. Learn more at mass.gov/mosquitoes and ticks.
Welcome back to Braintree Today. Now here's some new binge-worthy show recommendations. First up is Tales of the Walking Dead. With the Walking Dead series coming to an end, AMC is pulling out all the stops to make sure there will be still plenty of Walking Dead to go around. Tales of the Walking Dead marks the latest spin-off and aims to use the post-apocalyptic setting as the jumping-off point for an anthology, with new characters, new settings, and a few familiar faces filling in some never-told origin stories. You can watch Tales of the Walking Dead on AMC+. Next in entertainment, Everything's Trash tells the story of 30-something-year-old outspoken podcast star Phoebe making her mark while living a broke and delightfully messy lifestyle in Brooklyn. That is until her brother Jaden emerges as a leading politician. Phoebe is now forced to grow up. As she navigates through her messy life, she relies on her friends and family to help her figure out adulthood. You can watch season 1 of Everything's Trash on Hulu. And finally, Central Park, by the same creators of Bob's Burgers, Central Park, tells the story of Owen and his family who live an unconventional life in New York's Central Park, which Owen manages. Their lives change when an elderly heiress and entrepreneur named Bitsy wants to turn the park into more condominiums, shopping stores, and restaurants. He and his family have to find a way to fend off Bitsy and save the park. Season 3 of Central Park premiered on September 3rd. You can watch Season 1, 2, and 3 on Apple TV+. That'll do it for news today. I'm Martha Konstandinidis, and thank you for watching Braintree Today on BCAM TV. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.